Each week, I like to highlight a certain aspect of the real estate market. I interviewed a lender last week, and today I have as my guest Brandon Dove. Now, Brandon Dove is the owner of Dove Insurance, and which is obviously for buying homes, you're going to need to purchase home insurance. And just in my experience out there, dealing with buyers, there's been plenty of instances where we get into escrow and suddenly the cost of the insurance for the home is really high or maybe not available. So Brandon, what's up with that?
It's a slew of things, Tom. California is becoming a tough area for insurance companies. They're sick and tired of year after year in the massive wildfires that we've been having. So you're 100% right. If you're buying a house and you're getting a loan, you're going to be required to carry the homeowner's insurance. And it's an area that we're noticing a lot of people kind of don't think about when they're in the buying process, to think, hey, it's home insurance. Everyone has to have it. I'm going to be able to get it somewhere. And then we get the phone calls from people who are looking for that homeowner's insurance. And sometimes we got to hit them with the bad news that a lot of different insurance companies can't insure everywhere based on wildfire risk these days. And typically, if that's the case, they have to go to a company called the California Fair Plan, which is something that nobody wants to be a part of if you can help it.
And why is that?
It's because it's not a standard homeowner's insurance policy. It provides very specific coverage that lowers the amount of coverage that they actually give you on a homeowner's policy. They basically pick and choose what you will or will not be covered on a policy. So, for example, they will cover your house against fire protection. They'll also cover your house against smoke damage and wind and hail. But the big things they do not insure you for at your house are water losses. So if you have a pipe break behind a wall and flood a kitchen, a bathroom, or your dishwasher line breaks and floods something, the California Fair Plan says that's not us. You have to oftentimes get a secondary insurance policy, which is called a difference in conditions policy. And the more policies you get, the dollars keep adding up. And in addition to that, I have found from my experience that when you have to go to the California Fair Plan, it does tend to be about 2 to 3 times more expensive of a policy than your standard homeowner's insurance, and you get worse coverage, which is why I always say if you can avoid them, avoid them.
So it's better to shop around when you're looking for a home that is not in one of those areas. And how would you know that? I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a real estate agent, so I research that. But let's just say that how would you, as a buyer, be proactive in finding out which areas are not covered?
So it actually takes a little bit of legwork, but people like me who act as brokers are usually going to be one of your best bets to call, because we don't just represent one insurance company. We represent multiple insurance companies, so we can kind of do the work for you of gathering information on you and the house and everything and shop it around for you. Just for example, my company alone, we represent 14 different insurance companies at this point, where we can shop it around with Progressive and Nationwide and a slew of other insurance companies.
Okay, so like I know what I do when I have a buyer and they're interested in putting an offer in on a home, and I call you. And I say, Brandon, here's this home on 123 Banana Street. How quickly can you tell me whether there'd be an issue with that home?
Typically, we get a pretty good idea with what we do of what companies are willing to insure in certain areas, which is why it's important to typically try and find, if you can, a local agent, because they're going to be a lot better pressed to know what's going on in the market and where exactly your home is located, and what difficulties or ease you may find on finding the insurance on the house there for you. But once you call us, you know, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes just to gather all the information on you, your history, the home, because there's a lot of things insurance companies look for. It's not just location. It can be sometimes dogs, you know. That's the one that always breaks my heart for people. A lot of insurance companies will ask you, if you have any dogs, and if you have them, what dog breed they are, because they do need to protect themselves from liability protection, and there are certain dog breeds that can make you ineligible.
I couldn't tell you one person that would ask about, is my dog going to have an effect on my home insurance? That's
right.
Good.
I don't want to be that guy to tell you, hey, we can't insure your dog, but there are always other ways around that as well. So okay. It's just it's a fact-finding mission for us, but it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Then once we go through that, we usually take your information, and within about 24 hours, we can give you an answer of who may be able to insure your home and give you at least a price estimate on that.
Okay, that's good to know. And obviously, this is a really important step, because imagine going into escrow, getting an offer accepted, and then realizing the insurance is either not available or you're going to pay a lot of money for it and the coverage is limited.
100%. We've seen it happen multiple times in my office already, where people are excited. They found the home of their dreams. They go, we've got 10 acres of land, and that's what they want, the seclusion and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden we hit them with, it's going to be $10,000 a year. It's going to be $12,000 a year. And they go, are you kidding me? And I say, unfortunately, no. Now, that's not every case. That is usually a more extreme case, but we have seen those kind of things happen. And so it is an important part of when you're finding the house to make sure that, with all the finances that go with buying a home, insurance usually isn't something on the top of mind. But when you're buying in these areas that, and unfortunately in Southern California, there's a lot of them, insurance companies do deem as higher wildfire risk areas.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. When someone buys home insurance, and, most people are, they may skim through the coverage or not really pay attention to it. On an average policy, what is not covered?
So there are a few things to always look out on a policy. Not all policies are created equal, which is why also I think it's important to in my office we try to preach education, so you know exactly what you're being covered for, because I tell everybody we insure, two major things are not covered by usually a standard homeowners insurance policy, which are earthquakes are not included. You can add it. And also flood insurance. And people say, Brandon, I thought you said I was covered for water. And I say, you are covered for water. Flood is something insurance companies look at different. It's usually looked at as water coming in from the outside. So if you ever had a heavy rain and water kept rising and got into your home, that would be flood insurance, not like a pipe breaking behind a wall, which would be covered by your standard homeowners policy. Tom, you still there?
Brandon, are you there?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we had sorry about that. Had a temporary loss on my battery.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was. Yeah, but I was gone, but you were still there. So, that's really important to know those things, because you're so excited about the home, but the little details make all the difference in the world.
There's a lot of ins and outs when it comes to the insurance policies.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, great, Brandon. I appreciate that. That's mainly the one thing I wanted to cover today was, educating our clients into things that they may not think about when they're buying a home.
Yeah. Like I said, it's an important thing. And, like I said, it's important to find a local agent who knows the market with everything, who can really shop that around. And, to have someone that you trust who can educate you on what you're actually protected against on these policies. And, if there are times where I can't find anyone to insure in certain locations. And when those things happen, I do recommend that they keep checking around, because even though we insure with a lot of different companies, we don't insure with them all. And so I usually give some recommendations to say, hey, if we can't do this, I'll give you the quote for the California Fair Plan, but you should still do your own homework and research, and try and talk to neighbors in the area, because it can be, you never want insurance to be the make or break of getting into the home that you want to be in.
Well, that just reiterates the importance of having an agent, whether it's a real estate agent, an insurance agent, and not just going online and looking up insurance and clicking a button and, buying your insurance that way. Or, as far as an agent, obviously, the value that real estate agents will give you for this type of service is critical. So,
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. Well, hey, I
Perfect.
appreciate it, and thank you for the time. And again, this is Brandon Dove of Dove Insurance. If you are in the need for home insurance, or just want some information, maybe you're thinking of buying in the future, you can reach me through this link here on either LinkedIn, Facebook, and I'll be glad to reach out to Brandon and put him in contact with you.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Have a great day, Brandon.
You too.